Hey guys, today I am going to talk about another behavioral design pattern, the chain of responsibility. We will learn this by working on a payment processing system. For processing the payment, the buyer has registered multiple payment mode and the preferences of payment mode to be used by the system. To solve this problem, we will chain these modes together and see how beautifully this pattern can decouple the system and provide a very efficient solution. I will clearly demonstrate how to implement this pattern and when to use it as well. To get all the future videos on C# and .NET technologies, make sure to subscribe the channel. So with this, let's get started. First thing first, the definition. The definition says, avoid coupling the sender of a request to its receiver by giving more than one object a chance to handle the request. Chain the receiving objects and pass the request along the chain until an object handles it. Let's understand this with the UML. The UML is pretty simple, but at times might be confusing as well. So, it has a handler class. It basically acts as an abstract base class. We have an interface implementing this handler class. The handler class contains a method handle which basically handles all the incoming requests from the client by passing it to its corresponding receiver. There will be many concrete handlers. It overrides handle method and tries to handle the request. And if required, calls base.handler that will pass the request to next handler. You can see here one more method, setNext. This basically sets the reference which connects the handler to the next handler in the chain. Let's go back to our chain diagram. We have multiple handlers for a request here. We chain all these handlers together. Chaining them together basically helps in avoiding this kind of code. If you can see here, the system is very much coupled. See the classes like voucher payment system, wallet payment system, credit card payment system, and debit card payment system. These are all instantiated here in controller class, which is making the controller class very tightly coupled. Plus, you have a lot of if-else block, which makes the system almost not extensible. We will discuss more on this about when to use this pattern in a bit. For now, let's continue with our slide. So, when the client calls the handle method of the first concrete handler, the handler checks if it can handle the request. If it can, then it handles it. But if it cannot, then the handler passes the request to next handler. How it can call the next handler? Remember, each handler holds the reference of the next handler. Again, if the next handler also cannot handle the request, then again it passes it to the next handler and goes on like this. Remember that handler can even partially handle the request and handover. Once the request is handled, then the chain stops there. Let's go ahead and implement this pattern. Basically, we will refactor this code. This is an ASP.NET Core application, mostly using scaffolding code. I have already written the application with this messy code. Let's go through it. But you know what? Let's run the application once and see if it is working. Okay, so this is our UI. I have written a very simple HTML. I will show you in a bit. So you will click process payment and it goes via several processing system like voucher payment system or wallet payment system and uses appropriate payment system to process the payment. Let's process the payment for Apple Watch. See, you get the message saying the payment is done via shopping wallet. It takes a call depending on the product cost and the amount available in the user's payment mode. If I click iPhone, since voucher and wallet does not have the sufficient 20K amount, so it pays via debit card. And similarly for SLR camera, it pays via credit card. Let's quickly see the existing code before refactoring it using chain of responsibility design pattern. So this is our view code where we have few CSS. Please do let me know in comment section if you need this project. I will provide it via GitHub. Process payment action method. Again, I am using here bootstrap grid system. Created 3 columns and some product details. Now let's go to our main controller action method and see. So this is our process payment action method. It first gets the product for which user wants to process the payment. This method just gets the product detail from the UI. Then it instantiates our voucher payment system. This is part of our payment system. We have different payment systems here like voucher payment system, wallet payment system, debit card payment system, and credit card payment system. These are simple classes for now. In real time, each payment system can be a separate component altogether. Coming back to our controller class, it gets the voucher value, pays through voucher. If this payment system is able to pay, then well and good, or else it instantiates wallet payment system and tries to pay via it. If this system is also not able to pay, then it goes ahead and creates debit card and credit card payment system and tries to pay from them. With just very little demo code, the code looks so cumbersome to read, right? If you get into some issues, then would be very difficult to debug and figure out which if else is creating a problem. Now let's refactor this code using our chain of responsibility design pattern. Let me create a folder called handlers. I would like to keep all my handlers here. Let me create my base handler class and come back. So this is my base handler. I have an interface here, iHandler, with two methods, setNext and handle. Let's go to its implementation. SetNext method is used to chain the handler. Basically, it sets the next handler instance to a property called next and returns the handler so that we can chain next handler to it. We will see later on how we chain the handlers. The handle method just checks if the next is not null and then calls handle method on it. Now let's create our concrete handlers. In the interest of time, let me create it and come back. So I have created 4 concrete handlers here: voucher payment handler, wallet payment handler, debit card payment handler, and credit card payment handler. Let's go through it one by one. So voucher payment handler inherits our abstract base handler and overrides handler method. It instantiates voucher payment system, tries to pay the amount. If the system is not able to pay the complete amount, then it returns the remaining amount. If the complete payment has been done via a voucher payment system, then it just adds a message handled by voucher payment handler, or else update the cost by the remaining amount and calls the base handler. So it basically goes to this method and it calls next handle. This is again a similar kind of logic. It tries to pay via wallet. If successful, then adds a message. Else calls the base handler with the remaining cost. Next it goes to debit card handler. Here the logic is little different. It checks whether it can pay the complete cost or not. If yes, then pays it, or else calls the next handler. Next is credit card payment handler. Again, it tries to pay here. And if not able to pay, Since this is our last handler, I just updated the message with not able to handle the request. In real time, again, you can take an action based on your business need. So we are done with our handler. Now let's go ahead and remove the messy code from our controller. Let me comment this all. Now let's chain our handlers. Let me instantiate our first handler, that's voucher payment handler. And now to this handler, let me set next handler. As per business need, our next handler is wallet payment handler. And again to this, set next handler, that's debit card payment handler. And finally, set next handler as credit card payment handler. We are done with chaining our handlers. See, it's that simple, right? Now with first handler, let's call handle method. It means our first handler will try to handle the request first. And finally, let me set our view back with the message regarding which handler has handled the request. This is just for the UI. We are done with our refactoring. Now, can you see how simple our controller is? All the if-else codes are no more, and the responsibilities has been delegated to individual classes, perfectly decoupled. Let's quickly do a recap. We have created our base handler. It has an interface with two methods, setNext and handle. Implemented the same in the concrete handler class. Then we have created our four different handlers, voucher, wallet, debit card, and credit card payment handlers, which handles their own respective payment system, and if not able to handle, then passes it on to next handler. And finally, we chain our handlers here. Now, before running the application, I would like to go through a few scenarios when you can use this pattern. So, when you have multiple systems and not sure which system should handle the given kind of request, it means you're not able to map the sender and the receiver at compile time. You can see in our example, we are not able to figure out which one system should do the payment for the user at compile time. We can of course do this using multiple if-else, but then our code becomes very much coupled as we have seen before refactoring, right? When multiple systems should handle the request. For instance, in our example, the same request is handled by multiple systems, partially by one and then partially by others. See here, voucher payment system pays the amount and remaining amount is handed over to next handler. I hope now you have fair idea when you can use this pattern. With this, now let's debug our refactored code. So it gets the selected product detail, then it instantiates our first handler, voucher payment handler. Then it goes to chain our handlers. So to voucher payment handler, it chains wallet payment handler and returns the wallet payment handler instance back. Then to wallet payment handler, it chains debit card payment handler and again returns the instance back. And finally, to debit card payment handler, it chains credit card payment handler. Then it calls the handle method on our first handler. So it goes to voucher payment handler and instantiates the voucher payment system, pays the amount and gets back the remaining amount which it cannot pay, assigns the remaining amount to remaining product cost and calls the base handler. Now, which is the next handler? Yes, that's wallet payment handler. So it goes to that handler and again tries to pay. Now the payment is completed, so it assigns the message and returns. So we get the message, payment is handled by wallet payment handler. Let's see which handler pays for the camera where the amount is little high. So it gets the product detail, sets the handler again, and calls the handle method. Voucher payment handler partially pays the amount. Wallet payment handler also partially pays. And then it goes to debit card handler. It checks if it can pay by debit card. Since the debit card balance is just 40K and the cost is 50K, so it cannot pay. Hence, passes the request to next handler. Now, credit card balance is 1 lakh, so it can pay. So we get the message handled by credit card payment handler. So after refactoring, still our functionality is intact. And by using chain of responsibility design pattern, our internal system has become more maintainable and loosely coupled. That's all for today. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel for all the future videos on C# and other technologies. Thanks.